Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have for you from Wolfdash 5 a main bracket, lower bracket round 2 matchup between Ynohtz and Orcrist. And I am going to pass it over to our commentators for this race, the Wildebeest and Anoraxis. Take it away, you two.
Thank you.
Thanks. How's it going, Anoraxis?
It's going all right, Wildebeest. Relatively early over where I am, but
It was a nice mid-afternoon race for me. Just a little warm. We appear to have Ynohtz versus B Chance.
Should be a fun race today.
I think as long as Twilight Princess is played, it'll be a fun race.
Fair enough. We have Ynohtz on French and Orcrist on English. So there will be some routing differences with just the rupee routing. But overall, the languages are pretty close to the same time.
And it makes sense. Ynohtz is a French runner. Wouldn't want Orcrist not to understand the story. Though he has been practicing his French for years now.
That's true. With the synchronizing on Ynoht's screen, it looked like it got a boost right at the start.
Oh,
there.
Orcrist was behind for me. It's the other direction.
Both first strike gate clips.
Nice.
Good to see.
We've had some terrible gate clips so far this Wolfdash. I think there was that one race where Andy and Badamja both took an extra, 45 seconds or so.
And there's nothing that they can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, if they counted the frames from loading the room, then they'd have a better chance anyway. Simply count the frames. Oh, you're gonna have to yell, I know.
I do not know if I'm capable of doing that for 3 hours. Anyway, pretty good starts for both runners. Now going over to the Lantern, which I think the text is slightly faster on English for this. I could be wrong. I might be thinking
I think it's yeah. French is only two
French
boxes. English is three.
faster, yeah.
It's like a second and a half, something like that. Not going for the roll stab strat.
At least I know when I switch between versions on my splits, there are always little differences that I really find annoying. Like that.
That's just flow boxes, right?
Yep.
Every item you get.
Gain a second here, lose a second there.
Yeah, as Anna mentioned, we will see some route differences between the two, not only because they're on different versions, but also because Orcrist is going for the pillar clip route, whereas Ynohtz is going for the optimal empty lake Hylia route. But that difference won't cause any changes for another half hour or so, roughly.
It's been quite nice to see these two runners improve over the time that they've been running. Orcrist's been running for around 3 years, and Ynoht's about 3 months. And good improvement in both of those time spans.
Yeah. Wild to see how fast someone can get that fast these days.
The game is significantly easier than when I started running to get that fast. I imagine that's the same for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's much easier than we started running.
Yeah, we didn't have any practice tools back in 2013. Anyway, with the 9-second time loss for the easier back in time, the safe back in time at the start, this is looking like a pretty good gauge break time for Ynohtz. Like a 406, I think it
Yeah,
is.
wow.
Probably be. Yeah, just 406.
I'll never understand how people do that. I'm satisfied with 358s. Like
Happy with
half bit.
402s. So now we're heading toward goats. Ynoht's fastest ghosts in Wolfdash is 22 seconds so far. And Orcrist has had a 19.64.
Ooh.
Let's see if we can see any improvements today.
And I think the fastest this Wolf Dash was Zach with a 17 something.
I believe so.
1750 something.
1758 by the look of it.
Yeah. Been pretty good for Ynohtz. Oh no. Oh wow.
Oh yeah, that worked. 1982 is that's Ynoht's fastest in a Wolfdash so far. Looks like not going quite so smoothly for Orcrist. A couple goats getting turned around.
Almost got him in at the end.
30.
3083. It'll be a good year.
It will be. So I assume was 1982.
Can't remember.
Still both very acceptable times for races. Some runners might reset with that 30, but it's... I feel like if you get to bow, you might as well see if you get good RNG here, regardless of what the goats were. What the boats were, yep.
What were the boats?
I don't know.
We'll have to see.
I suppose you have 2 boats in this game. Isa's and Hannah's.
Trying to think of anything else that could qualify as a boat. Maybe Bo has a gravy boat on one of his shelves? I don't know.
Maybe. He does seem like the sort of guy that would enjoy gravy.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I feel like Bo could make a good roast.
Ynoht's intelligently going for a grab on the second phase, or higher odds of that working. Now going for slaps. Interesting choices.
Just now through that first phase.
Just getting matched. Orcrist won't be catching up during Bo, but Bo was definitely giving Ynoht's a run for his money.
Orcrist also going for that grab first.
And then a slap. Interesting. I wonder if a slap is enough to bounce him off if he slaps as well, if you've mashed well enough.
Maybe. I've definitely seen lots of runners go for that push then slap.
I always do push and push. Alright, so we got a
Push
737 and 748 boots. We see plenty of boots times over 8 minutes in races, so not bad at all.
Indeed. See the runner saving here. That'll be important in Forest Temple.
See Ynoht's buffering through this load zone. That'll be important for complaining to their internet service provider about.
At Ynoht's YSP. ISP.
YSP?
YSP.
The internet.
Chris doing a little bit of mashing there, which loses a tiny bit of time, but it does look cool. All right, it's time for the key point of the race. which runner is going to get box break? Will both of them?
Oh no, I'm synchronizing. I might miss it.
Why
We
not
got one
Scott?
box break.
And Orcrist also got it.
Spoilers.
So I think that means both of them are going to win.
Wow. Congrats, everyone.
What do we do in Wolfdash in the case of a tie?
Send both runners ties and move on? I don't know.
And maybe.
Yeah, the closest it's ever been is the grand final of, what was that, Wolfdash 2?
2 or 3. Which was...
I think it was 2.
It might have been 2. Game has evolved a lot since Wolfdash 2.
It has. We are regularly seeing times in Wolfdash races these days that are faster than what the world record was in Wolfdash 2. This is just a big Wolfdash too. Got 2 huge brackets.
Yep, lots of potential for good times and also very bad times. Both runners having a relatively clean sewer so far. I don't think either of them got the early cutscene, but the movement's been good. Ynoht's going for the mid-to-text displacement there to save half a second by making the text boxes blend together instead of having a gap between the first two.
Orcrist got it as well. Look, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm asking myself the same thing, but
Impossible S.
Yeah, not getting that text skip there. Also not going for the jump that only I go for.
Good proof that they aren't you, I suppose.
Yeah,
They do have 2 of the 3 letters in the abbreviation of your username. Could have been you.
Could be. Orcrist did get that text skip, so about a second and a half saved over Ynoht's there. Still a pretty close race. Hopefully we'll see it continue to be close after the more difficult tricks coming up.
Yeah, coming up first is Sword and Shield Skip. They'll both lure Hugo, the Bublin, over to the entrance to Farron and try to get a big old jump off of him to skip some mid-attacks that would prevent them from getting into Farron. And it's kind of a nerve-wracking trick in races. Sometimes in runs, I guess, depending on your mindset, but especially in races. Just because you have to do it until you get it, and each attempt costs a little over a minute.
Yeah, this is one of quite a few cases in which the race nerves definitely play a part in the success rate. I know that pretty much every time that I've done this on a big stage, I've been significantly less consistent.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that it's just a tough trick, too.
Yeah.
Lots of variability.
But it is Hugo's birthday, so...
Almost forgot.
Happy birthday, Hugo.
Might be happy with that. Very nice.
Going for...
Quick one.
Looked like a no slide there.
Yeah.
Good to get through pretty quickly, too.
Now 4.5 minutes ahead of their latest run. Yeah, latest run. Guess Sword and Shield Skip hadn't gone so well on that one. Orchrist waiting for just the right Hugo position. Fortunately, does not get it.
Yeah. Hugo a little further forward than would have been preferable, but I think it was still possible from that position, just unfortunate.
So we'll have to void out and try that again. If he were to try it again right away, then his first attack would kill Hugo, and then he couldn't do the jump, but then Hugo dying... if Hugo dies, he never comes back. This is such as the realism of Twilight Princess. So he would have had to load a save from before killing Hugo, and come all the way back, which would have cost way more time.
Something like 8 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
7, 8. We'll see both runners not getting the Farron vessel and just running through the Twilight, which is something I have to remind myself of every time I run this category.
You or someone else reminds you, sometimes.
Orchrist now lining it up again.
Hugo's looking pretty polite. Let Orchrist push him into the spot fairly quickly, but again, a little farther away from the barrier than Orchrist wanted.
Just unfortunate. Hugo was being significantly nicer that time.
So Orchrist will dig up some health here. Good move. And Ynohtz is coming up on Early Master Sword, which is another trick kind of like Early Master... it's very much like Early Master Sword. Kind of like Sword and Shield Skip in that you can kind of just get stuck on it. And it's a little challenging, but it's a little less challenging, I think, for most people in Sword and Shield Skip, and it costs a lot less time to retry. It's like
significantly less punishing. If you do attempts on both sides, it only loses 12 seconds to fail Early Master Sword.
Yeah.
Whereas it loses up to around 1.5 minutes on average for Sword and Shield Skip.
There is one fail case Ynohtz is going to be really trying to avoid, which is killing all the messengers. Bad swing. Another bad swing. So Ynohtz is very intelligently doing spin attacks.
Yeah, with them bunched up like that, you wouldn't want to risk the charge attack.
Yeah, and he's going for some extra health just in case he gets more bad swings. Not a bad idea.
And unfortunately, Orchrist failing Sword and Shield Skip again.
There you go.
So on the third swing attempted, that's a success for Ynohtz.
Yep. First possible swing. Though I kind of wonder why he killed Jamal after the second bad swing instead of the third. Maybe he thought he was missing a heart.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. I've never messed around with it. Maybe it is good.
It's had some interesting camera movement there. I don't think there's much lag to avoid in the Grove, but turning the camera and changing exactly what's on screen will be used several times on the run to minimize the amount of lag that we experience.
Orchrist is, gonna kind of reset up Hugo by the wall.
Yeah, once Hugo gets too far right, it's that's the...
There we go. Orchrist has made it into Farron. Very good. Well, I guess I spoke too soon. He could have said no. Yeah, rough Sword and Shield Skip, but it's a long race.
It is a long race. Lots can happen. I personally lost 10 minutes on entering Lakebed on the route that Ynohtz is doing today, just last night. So I imagine that Ynohtz is better at that trick than I am, but things can happen. Ynoht's opting not to target for that third Skull Kid hit, which tends to make me a little nervous, because if you miss Skull Kid, you just land on the ground and have to go all the way around. But should be pretty easy not to miss, if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, so I always target. Ynohtz just killed one puppet as quickly as possible to make Skull Kid's timer for vulnerability start counting down. Do the same on this cycle. I don't think Tass's target, if I remember correctly, the best possible angle from the best possible position doesn't involve targeting.
Yeah, I imagine that's true. All that I'm really looking for is to get onto the ground, which Ynohtz did successfully out of that cutscene. And
yeah, he did make it to a pretty weird spot, though. Like, he had to turn the camera around to see where he was.
Yeah. Ynoht's opting for the traditional method of Master Sword puzzle.
You mean the fast method of Master Sword puzzle?
Yes. Which is only one frame faster than the mirrored version, which is also pretty much the fastest.
I hope someday we find some more optimization for this puzzle. Whether it's skipping the puzzle or just something that saves one more frame.
Orcrist saying that he was robbed on the sword and shield skips, and I would say that he was robbed on that early Master Sword. That looked like a good lineup.
I would say he's being robbed by us right now. Don't turn around. We got a 2154 Master Sword for Ynohtz. That is not bad at all for a race. I think in PB attempts, he'd probably be looking for something a little closer to 21 flat, but again, this beginning section is pretty rough in races, in no resets. Easy to lose a lot more time than that.
Where does that time even go for getting 21 flat?
Sorry, what?
It's very common for me to look back at my first hour of the run and really not understand the time loss. So 21 flat seems crazy to me.
There's a lot of stuff up to Master Sword that's invisible. Like, for me, one of the biggest things is the one-framers and sewers. I don't pay attention to them at all because I'm kind of just mashing for them, and they do add up.
Yeah, they're like a second each.
I'm not sure about having 28 rangs.
That's a lot of rings.
That is a lot of rangs. More than we can have. We can only have 4. I mean, there are certainly... Well, I was going to say there certainly have been runs fast enough that they might have had 28 rangs, but any run is fast enough that it could have had a 28 rang. Just depends what happens after, so I don't know.
That's true.
So we got Ynohtz leaving the Sacred Grove, as Orcrist is still chasing Skullkid around.
Ynoht's having to say a full sentence to Midna to say that they want to teleport.
Gotta be really clear about these things in French.
And then
I didn't notice what the "Ugh, what are you doing" text was in French. 'Cause they both did get it. I just didn't notice. So Ynohtz is now heading back to the Forest Temple. He's already gone this way before, but it's not possible, at least with current knowledge, to get the to get to the Sacred Grove early while also opening the North Farron portal. At least in any percent context. So he's got to dash all the way back from South Farron.
there are ways to do that, but you're not going to see them at 90%.
Yeah.
There was an idea for it that almost would have worked in 100%, but it was just a little too slow.
What was the idea?
Doing Epona out of bounds to get into the Forest Temple,
Oh, yeah, okay.
which wouldn't have opened North Farron Portal before EMS, but it would have made it so you could Uku back to Forest Temple after Master Sword.
Huh. I never really thought about that. I know I've kind of thought about Taka's idea for the earliest Mist Heart piece.
Yeah, the idea was to do that and then keep going to the Forest Temple.
Oh. That... Do you know whether the timing for that still exists somewhere? I'd be curious to see it. Because we did actually recently, like a few days ago, change the beginning of Hundo to use the Orden Golden Wolf twice instead of using the Farron Golden Wolf. It might actually play well with that.
I could look it up. I don't remember if I saw any specific timings, though. Orcrist now doing that Master Sword puzzle, also opting for the same route. And Ynohtz, that looked like the second good frame for Force Temple back in time, so this should work. Now loading that file that we saved in Orden Village to get early monkeys.
It's not that early. It's 2:57 p.m.
It is 7:57 a.m., my friend.
Oh, those are some early monkeys.
I don't know about you, Beast, but when I talk about Twilight Princess tricks to people in real life, early monkeys tends to be a favorite.
I can't remember the last time I talked about Twilight Princess tricks to people in real life. I can see why that would be a favorite, though. Especially if you give the interpretation of having, 20, 30-odd monkeys afterwards.
But the game only thinks you have 4. Or the game only cares that you have at least 4.
Yeah.
It might have been possible to go for Spider Skip there for Ynohtz, but probably wisely opting to throw the nut at Nancy.
Wise knots. No, this can't be a 28 rank, unfortunately.
Sounded like Ynohtz got a 1-framer there, but didn't do the roll backward.
Oh, which direction did they roll? I didn't notice. I was watching Orcus.
Just forward, I believe.
Oh. Well, it's better than nothing. Actually, I don't remember how that affects the text coming up. Maybe it's worse than nothing.
It's possible. It definitely does not move you forward a significant amount.
Yeah, 1 frame of 25 speed.
And getting the good RNG
no.
of
Okay.
2 hops, but yes, missing the pillar.
I thought for a moment we were going to see the crash. Missing the pillar and then hitting it from behind like that is exactly how you get Ook to fall with the boomerang in his hand so that the game crashes. Actually, I'm not sure if the game had crashed and he had a hard reset. I know he would have lost the boss flag, but since he already went outside, would the monkeys still be there when he loaded his file? Or no, I guess he hadn't saved since then.
He
Never
hadn't
mind.
saved. He'd have to do load from the start of Forest Temple, which would still be ahead.
Yeah, it really wouldn't be that big a time loss. There's one, probably the most likely crash, which hopefully we won't be seeing today, but that we have seen in Wolfdash, costs, I guess it depends on whether you get Gorge Void or not, but it can cost like 10 or 17 minutes.
It also depends if you're doing Empty Lake Hylia or Pillar Clip route.
Yeah, that's true.
It would do significantly less for Orcrist if we saw it this run.
Yeah, that's right.
But again, hopefully we won't see that. Orcrist playing it particularly safe in this fog.
And Ynohtz did turn around before calling Midna just to have a better camera for less lag during the teleport.
I really need to properly learn the little things like that. Those are the little time saves that I don't really pay attention to.
I feel like we've come up with a lot of them, just a continuous stream of them in the past couple of years.
Yeah, although the route for Twilight Princess does not evolve very often, little things like that do get found quite often these days.
And honestly, bigger things do happen more often these days too. Like just since maybe just 2025, 2024 maybe. Just had a lot of stuff, new stuff found.
Yeah, although this is still a 3-hour run, it is quite the technical run, and we still have some quite large skips that were found back in 2009.
Yeah, if he saved after getting to the monkey chain, then maybe he wouldn't need to, but he didn't, so. Chris now doing Forest Temple back in time. Hold on. It's skipping the postman. This is ideally one of only 2 postman skips in the entire run. I guess arguably that makes the entire run a postman skip. So it's one long postman skip? Hard to say.
Yeah, I guess.
Unless, does the postman show up in the credits at all? I can't remember. I don't think he does.
I don't think he does. Alright. Ynohtz now coming up on Gorge Void. Frame perfect trick to jump into the gorge and save time from backtracking.
He wants to jump into the gorge. Why doesn't he just go to the left here? It'd be easy. And he gets it.
Succeeding at the Gorge Void. Which they've done in the last 2 bracket races as well, so that's good to see.
Wow, that's some consistency. I think the Wolfdash site mentions Gorge Void consistency. No, I think it's just Gorge Void consistency overall for all runners.
Yeah, overall the consistency is 47.3% across all runners, which is lower than I would have expected, but
that's higher than I would. My Gorge Void consistency is awful.
I know that at my best, my consistency was like 70%, but it's definitely harder in a race context. That's just another thing that the race nerves don't help with.
Everyone should do a Gorge Void times 100 run right before the race.
Honestly, we should do a Gorgewood times 100 tournament.
Yeah. Be fun to commentate.
Looked like pretty good RNG for Orcrist. I wasn't counting exactly how many hops that was.
There's a finite number of hops. Ynohtz being very careful to avoid that KB trigger.
Looks like the gap at Gale Boomerang was about 5 minutes. Which we'll start to see route variations pretty soon. With Orcrist doing that pillar clip route.
Yeah. They will both meet up in South Farron in just a minute. That'll be nice. They can wave and say hi. Ynohtz is hitting this cutscene trigger to get map warping, which is just what lets us warp from the map screen instead of from calling Midna, which is important for the biggest sequence break in the entire run. Without it, you'd have to... you could still do the sequence break, but you'd have to mash very quickly and very well.
And if you can figure out a way to do that, it would be very significant for low percent.
Yeah.
Both runners in South Farron now. Both about to be doing Farron Escape. Might see different setups here. No, I think both of them just transform and walk to the trigger.
Good Farron Escape from Orcrist. And from Ynohtz as well.
Looking at those forest escapes, I really do line up way further right than is needed for that, and I do not know why I do that.
I think I prefer going farther right. I don't know, I've noticed that over time I tend to forget how I do it, so my visual cues drift.
I know I've heard people say that that is one of the first things that goes rusty, and I have had plenty of opportunity to get rusty at this game recently.
Well, how were your Farron escapes yesterday?
I think I failed 3 times.
Could be worse.
Ynohtz not going for the skate clip. Really attacking that gate.
Wants to show it who's boss.
Maybe that made an extra little gap to squeeze through.
Could see the chips flying there.
And importantly, Ynohtz not transforming into a human there. When Orcrist gets there, we will see that transform.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Ynohtz is right above Lakebed Temple now, but is not going there yet. He is instead going up to Zora's Domain, as the developers intended. Wouldn't want to cheat.
Orcrist now going for Gorge Void.
And gets it.
And getting it.
Very nice.
That's always nice to see both runners get the same result one way or the other. Yeah, for those just joining now, we saw pretty good starts from both of these runners. Orcrist lost a bit of time over Ynohtz for just Sword and Shield Skip. Ynohtz has had a particularly good start for a race since then.
Going for the safe method here, probably smart. The crash I was talking about earlier is on this Kargarok. If the Kargarok grabs Link while also dunking the rider underwater, then the game will crash. And if you do the fight as Wolf, well, technically you can do that as Wolf. Ooh. not handling the slope quite right. But it's very tricky. But if you do this version of the fight as Wolf, then there's no crash risk, though there is a soft lock risk.
Orcrist had a pretty good rupee roll getting across the fence. Another thing to mention with Ynohtz on French and Orcrist on English, the rupee text, when you get a rupee and it says, you got a yellow rupee, 10, or whatever the equivalent of that is in French, that text box takes significantly longer on French. Ynohtz will be specifically trying to avoid getting extra rupees.
In French, 10 translates to dicks. Like everyone to repeat that after me. Dicks.
I believe it's pronounced dis. But
Oh. I've been made a fool.
I did take high school French. I think I remember a little bit.
And surely in high school you chose to pronounce it dicks.
No, I don't think I did.
Went to different high schools.
We did go to very different high schools. Anyway. Ynoht's having a nice, easy flight through the void, and Orcrist now
Not too much turbulence.
getting that map warping. Oh man, doing Plum's minigame with the possibility of turbulence would be terrible.
It would be fun to hear Plum coming over the intercom, though, to talk about it.
A Wolflink fastening its seatbelt.
Ynohtz was inhabited by a Keese for a moment there. Happens to the best of us. The Orcrist is on his second fair and escape. Each runner just has to do 2. If they had missed Gorge Void, they would have had to do 3. Which is really the worst part about
that too.
Yeah. Yeah, good fair and escapes today.
Yeah, on paper, failing Gorge Void loses 1 minute and 6 seconds, but in reality, it tends to be a little bit larger just because of that fair and escape, extra fair and
We
escape.
don't do too many runs on paper anyway.
You don't?
I don't anyway. Do you?
Gotta fill the time at work somehow. Ynoht's now having got the Zora's Domain portal, will be going to Warper Rock.
The entire country?
Yes, the entire country.
My goodness. Where's he warping it to?
Zora's Domain.
Probably there are worse places out there to warp it to.
I'm gonna drop it in a giant water pool. I obviously can't warp that now. It needs to go and finish this Twilight, and then we'll be able to warp it from Death Mountain. There are 2 requirements to be able to warp that rock. First, you have to get it to exist, which is post Elden Twilight. And the second requirement that the game looks for is having started the Kargarok flight.
Yep. Even if you already have the Zora's Domain portal, have to start the Kargarok flight. Now, also,
Yeah.
Orcrist is now human in Lake Hylia. And I was talking about this earlier. Orcrist is going to Lake Bed Temple early because he's a dirty cheater. And he's going to do that with a trick called Pillar Clip. He's going to use a pillar to push Link out of bounds to get to the load zone that is hidden behind a rock. The entire country. Looks good. Yeah.
Yep. Good
Very
equip
nice.
there. Now just we'll be doing the flutter equips for the iron boots to get to the loading zone. Very nicely done. For
Solid
Orcrist.
pillar clip. Plenty of air left too.
But in order to beat the boss of Lakebed Temple, Morpheal, we'll need either water bombs or the Zora armor, which both runners will be getting the water bombs for that. So Orchrist isn't able to beat the dungeon now. We'll be doing it in 2 trips.
Yeah, and this used to be the optimal route, but we'll see on Ynotz's side in, 20 minutes? The new, slightly faster route that just goes to Lakebed after Linear Twilight. Yeah, you're definitely supposed to have bombs, water bombs, for Lakebed Temple. But Orchrist can easily avoid those with long jump attacks. Though you can avoid them without long jump attacks too.
Water bombs being so important in Lakebed Temple that they put 60 of them in chests in Lakebed Temple, even though you can only hold 15.
You could have done both easy minigames. Technically, you can hold 90 water bombs at a time.
That is true, and I think you could do it by the time a casual playthrough would get to Lakebed Temple, so I guess I stand corrected.
You could get there with 90 water bombs, use all of them, and then still have 65 to play with. So this is how Orchrist is going to come back to fight Morpheal later, using Uku. Do a neat slide
crazy
down.
that any percent doesn't use Uku at all anymore.
Yep.
It's been very common over the years to have a split dungeon, or even 2. But there's no longer necessary. One of the reasons for that is because of the way we used to get the bomb back, which a new method was found / rediscovered to make that possible without an Uku.
Well, the method of getting it without an Uku, I think that was a new discovery. Like, that's not reliant on the Shadow Beast thing.
Ynohtz falling down for Bomb House Skip, aiming a little bit too far right.
I think that's Ynotz's biggest mistake so far this run, which is saying something. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Obviously not good the mistake happened, but... Yeah, really the turning point for that was G's discovering that you could just warp by pressing map and A on the same frame like we do for Yeta TD.
Yep. And then the Empty Lake Hylia trick, which we'll be seeing Ynohtz do later. That was a rediscovery, but figuring out how to get into Lakebed from there was different. Was a new thing.
Yeah, Empty Lake Hylia has been known for quite a while. Nice gold for Orchrist on the claw shot segment.
Yeah, that's a pretty large amount of time save compared to PB.
I think that's his average, looks like.
Yeah, it does look like it. That's right.
Sure does look like that.
It sure does.
Yeah, so no Uku use and 2 intentional death warps in the optimal route.
Any percent's getting more and more like no save and quit every day.
Soon enough, we'll be back to getting the Zora armor.
Then pushing Bokoblins.
It's unfortunately having their side hop interrupted. Who put that wall there?
Orchrist will now be doing the things that we saw Ynohtz do earlier, just doing that Kargarok fight and then flying out of bounds to Zora's domain. And Ynohtz has 3 tiers left in this Twilight, and then we'll be heading over to start Linear Twilight. Let's see. looks like Orchrist might be going for the skip. Or for drowning the Kargarok Rider.
Yep, looks like it. Very nice. Oh, not very nice.
Yeah, it wasn't
Kargarok.
far enough into the water,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, he's gonna
Opting
bail
to
on that
bail
one.
on that one.
which is smart. He just needs to find a place to transform, or to go for it again, I suppose. This is an odd angle.
And getting grabbed, that is
Okay.
the crash.
Well, so he did
but
reset before the crash.
Did reset before that, and as we said, Orchrist saved in Lake Bed Temple, so it's not that big of a time loss to get that case.
Only like a minute and a half, I think. He just has to uku back out and start it again. So not a huge deal.
That's
For
unfortunately
why not? That
quite
would have
common to
cost.
see with crazy angles.
Yeah, for why not? That would have cost 10 minutes since he failed to gorge, or since he got Gorge Void, and hadn't saved since Boomerang. But why not is finished with Elden Twilight. We'll now be warping the entire country of Iraq to Zora's domain.
To pick up a different, smaller rock.
To bait the larger rock into coming. Why you attach a tiny fish to your fishing rod, right? I don't know. Maybe people do that. Do they do that? I think I've gone fishing once in my life.
I've gone fishing more than once. I don't think we ever used fish as bait, but I'm pretty sure you do. I'm pretty sure some people do. Why not's getting that side hop, saving a few seconds, and making it so the map doesn't update, and it looks like there is no water in this area.
Some wet-looking land. All right, Orchrist has successfully killed the Kargarok Rider. And now, if he wanted to, he could do this entire flight as human, standing on the out-of-bounds ledge that you get spawned on if you start this as human. The camera would have gone crazy, and it's possible he would have jumped off by accident. So he's just going to do it as Wolf. Because you have to be Wolf afterwards anyway. Or want to be anyway.
I think even jumping off by accident, you don't void or anything. Just
yeah, that's just what makes the camera go crazy.
Yeah, and you aren't able to transform if you do that.
Yeah, it's in midair. Why has Why Not's gotten 18 rupees? Yeah, 10 of those were from Rupee Roll, but were 8 of them by accident, or is he just getting rupees anyway?
I did see Why Not's get a few yellow rupees on the watchtower.
Yellow rupees?
Just green rupees.
Ah.
Which don't have any dex. There's no risk in getting them. But
oh, I guess in the watchtower you kind of want to clear them so you don't get the short jump attacks.
Yeah. But Why Not's getting through that portal fight, which it definitely has potential to go poorly. And it always feels bad when it does. Kind of crazy that portal fights have feelings.
Soon we'll have. Well, we currently do have both runners in Zora's Domain. One in the inner area, one in the outer. They might pass each other at the load zone. Oh, they just missed each other. One went under. Ynohtz is gonna go for waterfall side hop now. Can't think why we call it that.
And getting it.
Nicely done.
Had Ynohtz failed that, either by missing the side hop or side hopping too early and not getting to the right ledge, it would have been a little bit longer of a backup because of not doing the pillar clip route and therefore not having the claw shot at this point, which we can use to get back up to the mines.
Yeah, and in this category, that is the only potential use of claw shot between Orcrist getting claw shot and Ynohtz getting claw shot. Early claw shot in this category is not actually for the claw shot, it's just for having Uku and an easy way back to lake bed, basically. That tier took a while to collect. We've got Orcrist starting Elden Twilight now. And Ynohtz maybe a third of the way through Lunar Twilight. Yeah, roughly.
A third of the way through the Nehru Twilight, but having 2/5 of the tiers.
I guess the tiers
Or
are
almost.
pretty dense in the Karg flight.
Yeah, almost half. Now we have quite a bit to dash to the next tier. This is the Wolfdash of Wolfdash fame.
This is it. I'd like an autograph.
Maybe we'll see one of the floor Kargoks that would be quite happy to. Oblige.
Give up sweeping for a moment and sign my disc.
I saw Boblin. Doesn't look like we'll see a Kargok. Orcrist in this hotel will be trying to get a yellow rupee, needing to get those 300 rupees for the cannon by around the 2-hour mark. And just missing that bug, jumping just under it. Unfortunately, getting that rupee text.
Forgot Pillar Clip Route hasn't still cleared the rupee text from rupee roll.
Ynohtz and Orcrist, both there at a place where we can showcase dash cancels. It's not particularly fast on the roofs that Orcrist was just on, which is probably why he didn't do it. But Ynohtz, the dashing in Castletown as Wolf is not as fast as most places, so it's best to do those B attacks to cancel them and then get the first part of the dash again.
Did you see Spicy's idea for moon jump dash cancels?
I did see those.
I want to test that out. It does look fast. It's not even dash cancels, it's just moon jump. cancels, I guess. Orcrist coming up on Bomb House Skip now. I think he also goes for the same wolf method that Ynohtz went for. Yeah, it looks like it.
It looks like it. Bomb House Skip.
Yeah. I have
Pretty-
seen human fairly recently. I think even in Wolfdash.
I personally go for human just because I hate even the potential of falling. But it's a pretty standardized setup and pretty easy to get consistently for the wolf setup. Why not it's not getting that bug?
Which could get messy. If these bugs don't go exactly right, then... No, okay. Good recovery.
Yeah, recovered that just fine.
I always worry, at least, when I miss one of those. That was Ynotz's second Kargarok flight, and we will see one more Kargarok flight, ideally, before the run is up.
Yeah, 4 Ynohtz. We'll also see just one more for Orcrist as well. Now going after the boss bug, which is a 3-cycle fight. Hopefully we'll be able to get the quick cycles. Looks like Ynoht's opting to keep the boss bug on the screen to lure its attack as quick as possible.
Yeah, it can save some time. Doesn't always. It didn't just now. I don't know why Orcrist just killed that guy. All he was doing was looking at a wall. What's so bad about that?
Ynoht's wisely waiting until the bug had gone up a little to not be clipped into that platform, which thus makes it possible to get that quick cycle. Very good fight for Ynoht's. Not the best RNG, though.
Just under 102 Lanayru Twilight time, which is, you know, as we've been saying this whole time, not bad for a race. I think
Certainly not.
Might not be on PB pace, but that is pretty solid.
So, Orcrist just finished Elden Twilight, and Ynoht's just finished Lanayru Twilight. There is about a 5 or 6 minute difference in where they are. Just Orcrist has done that first part of Lake Bed already, and they'll sync back up right around Arbiter's Grounds. Orcrist getting hit by 3 rocks.
Must have deserved it.
Perhaps Orcrist is a little rock that is set out to lure other rocks. I don't know.
It's possible.
And
Wow,
not getting that set up to...
Oh, not gaming, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Must be doing something else today. Ynoht's is hurlering right now, which is fun to say.
Yeah, because we don't finish
Forgetting
fair and
ending
twelve.
blow. Yeah, go ahead. No, actually,
Yeah.
wait, why don't we both say it at the same time, but in different words?
All right.
3,
because we
2,
don't get
1. So yeah,
because we don't finish Fair and Twilight in this. The Golden Wolf would spawn in North Fair,
You need Ending
and
Blow.
so we need to
It needs to
get
get
a different
Golden
Golden Wolf to get that first hit
and it's
skill.
going to get this one outside of Castletown. Yeah, I think that got the point across.
Probably. Now going for Ynohtz going for another thing that can lose time, but
very quick
is
setup.
Also pretty consistent. That was a good setup. Just to transform before entering this arena and doing this fight as Wolf.
Yeah, this is pretty awkward to do as Wolf, since you can't use the charge attack, which is the only way that you're really supposed to kill these guys, or at least finish these fights as Wolf. But if you use just the right moves in just the right order, you can do it without the charge attack.
And
very nice.
Done there.
And this basically glitches out Iza, so every time you warp back here, she's going to invite you in. So she'll invite you in now as though you had finished the fight normally, but yeah, every time Link is in Upper Zora's River, really anywhere in the area, it doesn't even have to be near Iza, she'll invite him back in.
Although the words that Iza says to invite you back in are go away unless you want to turn into a rug or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So, very inviting from Iza.
So, Ynohtz stole one bomb bag by having it lent to him and then warping away. And now stealing a second one will make that bomb bag a permanent bomb bag for some reason. And then he can use that bomb bag for the rest of the run. You can see on the item wheel there that it was empty, but fortunately when he save warps or games over next, that will fill the bomb bag with 30 normal bombs. That said, he will want water bombs, so he's going to have to get rid of those 30 normal bombs before he gets to the water bomb chest after the claw shot. Nice plum cutscene skip.
We won't see it, but if Ynohtz transformed into a human right now, they would have 2 boomerang equipped.
Yeah, it's unfortunate this route doesn't show that. Here's our final Kargarok flight for Ynohtz. Hopefully he's practiced the minigame. Oh, only got 3 points.
Yeah, it's a bit less than the 10,000. But we also didn't listen to the rules, so that might be good.
Always listen to the rules, kids.
Orcra's probably wisely waiting a little bit for that lily pad bug.
And now, like,
where'd the water go?
I was very thirsty. He's now going to use some of those normal bombs that he needs to get rid of. Oh yeah, this setup. To blow up the rock at the entrance to Lake Bed and bomb boost in at the same time. Well done.
First try.
That was a gold. Very nice. Yeah, that was a solid segment.
$5.49 for that. From Linear Twilight.
Yeah, I don't remember what that segment time, like what the community best is. Ooh. Missing a slippery rung. And very intelligently not getting blown up by his own bomb. I have a feeling Ynohtz has done this before.
And that choo-choo wisely turning away from the bomb.
There's a lot of wisdom on the left side of the screen. Right side, though...
Oh, we do see a floor Kargarok for Orchrist. Just for a second there.
Ynohtz is now basically following the same path that Orchrist followed. Oh, unfortunately didn't pull a sword out there. To get the claw shot but is also getting rid of bombs along the way. Again, to empty the bomb bag. Ynohtz might go for the displacement clip here. Looks like yes.
Yeah, looks like it.
So we want to go to the lower east wing here. And the fastest way to do that, just by 1 second, is to clip out of bounds here and swim there in this out of bounds water.
Now, if that's only 1 second,
Go
I
ahead.
definitely am not going to keep going for him.
Pretty
Yeah,
far
Ynohtz
there. Oh, okay.
Ynohtz is running the empty Lake Hylia route, and Orcrist is running the Pillar Clip route. So there's about a 5 or 6 minute difference in their routes right now. And the Shadow Beasts being just a little bit too far away from each other for Orcrist.
Ooh, just got it. One other difference for Ynohtz is that he's got bombs for the Deku Toad fight. So ideally, he'll be able to get a bomb into Deku Toad's mouth right at the beginning of the fight. It's a pretty tight window for it. But there it is. Very nice. That's fun. And so that skipped the phase where he has to kill all the tadpoles.
Very clean fight.
Yeah.
At this point in Lakebed, Orcrist and Ynohtz both are going to save warp. But Orcrist Uku'd out and will be returning later, and Ynohtz will just be finishing the dungeon now.
Very convenient water bomb chest here. Sorry, hydro bombies.
There's also a convenient arrow chest in this room.
There is.
We sure aren't getting that one.
Well, wait and see. Orcrist might get it. It's very convenient that there are water bomb chests in here, because if there weren't, the route would change significantly, depending on exactly where they were. We either have to beat Goron Mines and King Bulblin and get the Zora armor to open Barnes' shop and buy water bombs there, which in that case we wouldn't get bombs at all. We would just get the Zora armor and fight Morpheal that way. Or we would have to get the fishing rod. That would be exciting.
Or we could find a way to go to City in the Sky and get the chest there.
That's true. Go to City early so we can fight Morpheal. Quick boss key skip there from Ynohtz. Lakebed is the only dungeon that we have a boss key skip for, since it's the only dungeon where the load into the boss room isn't directly tied to the act of opening the door. If you get past the door in Lakebed, you can make it to the load zone.
The
Oh,
eye
wow.
is just barely out of range for Ynohtz.
Just barely.
Hopefully, yeah, getting that hit. That's very important. Missing that hit would probably have meant either a very awkward first phase or a death.
Getting it on the third attempt isn't that bad. Like, you still get to wait out the bombs full timer. You have enough air for that. It's on the fourth that it gets really hairy. And no one likes a hairy eel. I checked. I asked everyone.
You said it. Morpheal's just another place where it's quite easy to lose quite a bit of time, especially with race nerves.
But we won't be seeing that today.
We won't be seeing that today. Both of these runners are pretty good at eel.
Ynohtz could go for one bomb here, but is not, which is the right thing to do. It would have been kind of a tight one bomb, and Just not a good idea for a race. To go for a tight one. Oh, yeah, that's probably a good move. So Ynohtz didn't think he had enough time to swim up to Morpheal because she swam so high up in the arena. I think he was probably right about that. So he just aborted
Yeah,
that
I agree.
cycle and went down. This one is going to be kind of annoying, too.
I think
He's going
that's
to
also
get there,
going
but
to
he's not going to have very much air.
well from here
Yeah.
with a quick regrab.
Ooh, okay, all right, he still got it. that was a close one.
And yeah, very little air left at the end of that. We only have a 16-second air meter in this game.
Is it really only 16 seconds?
Yes, it is.
I thought it took like 30 seconds to sink down to Morpheal. I guess the air meter doesn't pop up right away, but doesn't take 14 seconds. Hold on, I'm checking this.
And Orchrist finished Linear Twilight with only 2 hearts.
Wow. Oh, must have gotten hit by the boss bug, I guess.
Definitely got hit by the boss bug once. Yeah, must have gotten hit twice. I don't know how you do that otherwise. We'll be going to steal some bombs and then heading over to the Snow Peak before finishing Lakebed Temple.
All right, in my PB, sinking down to Morpheal from the time the air meter appeared to the cutscene beginning was 20 seconds. And of course, there's still a couple seconds left. But still, that is less than I thought.
Yeah, maybe it was 24 instead of 16. But yeah,
Similar.
the air meter is not very large.
But we're not here to make fun of the size of anyone's air meter. I think your air meter is just right for you.
Orchrist is howling at the same reason as Ynohtz, which we could also explain again, talking at the same time, but it's just because we don't have the wolf in North Farron, we need a different one. But of course, Ynoht's now getting to minutes per hour, which is the point of the run where we need to talk incessantly in order to avoid copyright notice on YouTube.
Yeah, we probably should have been more careful about that in the Grove, too. And really, on the title screen. Though I don't know how much of the title screen was, or file select, rather, was streamed. It was before the restream started.
Yeah, there are a few places in this run that can happen, and it's not great, but it's whatever. We do also have a little bit of enemy music as a slight reprieve from the need to talk. So anyway, how's your summer been, Beast?
Been pretty hot. How's yours been, Anno?
Also pretty hot. Though fortunately, it's a dry heat here. It's not very humid where I am.
It's quite humid here and air conditionless. Orchrist is.
Yeah, Orchrist
he's got it
missed
on. Well,
one of the speed attacks. Getting a heart, which is unfortunate, to lose 8 seconds later, and I think needing to not target. You can target, but it's not quite ideal for that.
No, Orchrist doesn't need to be on low health since he's going to Snow Peak next.
That's true.
Oh, good Louise glitch from Ynohtz. The precise B attack to just barely hit this cutscene trigger, and it kind of screws up the camera. Yeah, shoutouts to Lost in the Woods by Martin Hauer. Sorry, go ahead.
Just a good second try from Orchrist. Those B attacks were missing for some reason, but still getting pretty well through there. And as said earlier, Orchrist will be able to talk to Isa, or because he's a wolf, he can just warp away. And we'll be doing the same bomb bag dupe that Ynohtz did. Why not
It's not
opting?
going for rope skip.
Yeah, not to do rope skip. That was a 1:16 Lakebed Temple time for Why Nots.
Yeah, I think
Which-
the best ever lake bed time is just under 113. It was like 112, high 112.
A PB attempt for myself, but a race in general. That's a pretty good time.
Yeah, it definitely still has the potential to be a low 240, or like sub 245, I mean. And this is the last big route deviation. Orchrist is now heading to Snow Peak, which Why Not hasn't been to yet. And that's only because Orchrist wants to uku back to Lakebed, and a good place to do it is from Snow Peak, so he doesn't have to leave through the door. Oh, we did get to see on Orchrist's screen the double boomerang for just a minute there. Wait, why did we see that? Why did he transform?
I
think I
don't
missed that.
know.
Must have accidentally said yes after getting map glitch. We'll see it again in the cave in just a minute.
And although this is Midna's Desperate Hour that Ynohtz is going through, and it's caused by Midna losing her powers, we can still transform, which Ynohtz did to get through one of the webs without having to carry a torch.
Yeah, the game doesn't take that away since you're not supposed to be able to do it yet.
And even in game, transforming is just touching the Master Sword. That's all you have to do in the lore. So
Ooh,
you should be able to do that whether or not you have Midna. Although Midna also is probably keeping the Master Sword in her pocket, so I don't know.
got big pockets, that one. Orchrist is hopefully going to remember to howl at the stone. Very nice, but only once. It's to disable map glitch, so he doesn't soft lock entering the cave. Why not manage to jump attack that Bulblin without hitting it, which is nice. Saved a few frames of hit stop. Ooh, less nice is tumbling on the bridge,
Yeah.
which just kinda happens sometimes.
I mean, I know this isn't what's needed right now, but if you do the jump that only I do, that is less common. Wisely waiting for the next cycle.
I think from... Oh, man. From voiding out there, you can make the quick cycle.
Yeah, I think it's slightly tighter than the normal window, but I believe you can make it.
Take that. Of course, destroying a keys. For I'm sure legitimate grievances.
And we'll now be doing a long jump attack to skip a messenger fight, because we don't need to warp back to Snow Peak at any point, so there's no reason to get the portal. Why not? Remembering to get this golden wolf.
And I don't mean to alarm anyone, but it is nearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the run timer. Just making you aware.
Monka W.
So because Orchrist didn't open the portal, the fog has not dispersed. And he's going to have to snowboard under these conditions. Can't see very far ahead, but there are enough visual cues that he can make it down there in one piece. Well, that
Okay,
wasn't my intention.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has now passed. We're fine. We made it.
Whew. It was a close one. Why not's getting the coup de grace? And in fact, Ynohtz is now going to Snow Peak. Or, well, hopefully going to Snow Peak. Not sure what that was about.
Snow Peak is quick enough that we probably won't see them in the dungeon Snow Peak ruins at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be pretty close, though. Ynohtz, I think, will still be snowboarding when Orchrist finishes. So Snow Peak Ruins is a pretty cool dungeon. Ha! And it goes by very quickly, as we were saying a minute ago. There are a lot of different sequence breaks in this dungeon, and we don't need to beat it. Orchrist is just going to get the ball and chain.
Though even if we did need to beat it, it wouldn't take that much longer.
No. Kind of a long cutscene.
Getting that nice, quick floor clip, jumping straight down to the door. And now going to be going for another displacement clip.
Yeah, I'm going to go underneath this locked door.
I suppose this is Orchrist's first displacement clip of the run, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think technically Lenevru Gate clip is a displacement clip.
Oh yeah, I suppose it is. Getting that second try. Orchrist is running the pillar clip route. So still needs to go back to Lake Mid Temple to beat Morpheal after this dungeon.
Yeah, I think the difference is around 10 minutes now. 8 or 10 minutes, something like that. We'll see when they get to the desert. Orchrist not going for the bomb strat on Dark Hammer. Oh yeah, does this route not have bomb? Yeah, I think his bomb bag is still empty.
Yeah, I believe so. Which is good, because it needs to be empty to then fill when we go to Lake Bed.
Oh, no, it needs to be filled first, and then he needs to empty it. How does it? Oh, right, the save warp in Snow Peak is what fills it. Because otherwise his water bombs would get overwritten with normal bombs.
That's right, yeah. I am personally quite happy that Pillar Clip is no longer the only option.
Yeah, I agree. Like ELH. It's nice when something that's easier and cooler is faster. Though that said, I do think ELH is cooler, but I think if Pillar Clip hadn't been the standard for so long before that, like if Pillar Clip were the hot new thing, I would think that was pretty cool too. That part is just novelty.
Yeah. Orchrist now getting the 2 orange rupees and then heading back to Lake Mid Temple.
Take that. So Orchrist is going to get the water bomb chest in the second room instead of the first, since he needs to get rid of some bombs. And the second room has a really good place for doing that. We all know about Orchrist's dirty hat. Who knows what he does with that thing? Bit of cool movement from the water bomb chest. And since Orcrist turned the staircase in Lakebed as part of his first trip, he'll be doing a slightly different boss key skip from what Ynohtz did. Ooh, interesting. Basically the same, just a slight variation at the end. And the beginning. But not the middle. Ynohtz went for a text skip there, but unfortunately jump attacked straight into it. It's kind of an awkward one.
It's another one of the cases where I've personally decided it doesn't save enough time to really be worth it.
Yeah.
But it does save a little bit.
It saves a little over a second. I thought it wasn't worth it until I knew that. Like, I thought it was half a second or something, and wasn't going to bother, but then I timed it. Ooh, unfortunately, getting the bonk.
So it's still able to back up with that side hop. Still cool, just not quite as cool as the optimal jump.
Orcrist also getting, well, it was almost one bomb RNG. I'm sure he's not going to go for one bomb with that. I don't know if he ever does go for one bomb.
Looks like not going for it. And Ynohtz getting first try on that displacement clip, and then a good freezer skip to boot.
We might see a bomb strat for Dark Hammer, which just saves a couple of seconds. This is looking like a standard 2-bomb for Orcrist, which is always comfy. Oh. Yep, there you go. Ooh, Ynohtz needs to be careful. It's pretty easy to die to Dark Hammer by accident.
Yeah, we take more damage from the ball and chain than King Bulblin does. So
that's, well, you don't know that. You don't know how many hearts King Bulblin has.
I suppose that's true.
Could have millions of them. So you need around 100 hearts or more. I think it's 96, 97.
Somewhere around there. And Ynoht's now able to just do a save warp from there rather than having to get the orange rupee. Saving a little bit of time over Orcrist.
Which he is going to lose back later. The French rupee skip thing does ultimately lose time. Because you have to talk to fire twice. And because French text is slower in some cases. Alright, so this warp to Lake Hylia is where the two runners' routes will meet up again. We see Ynohtz starting the warp at 133 flat, approximately.
Orcrist still needing to go through mid-distance per hour and getting that golden wolf before then.
Right. See, I think the difference is around 8 minutes now.
It's great that the routes meet up right at the point where we have 2 long ladder climbs.
Mm. And some ladder dances.
Ynoht's pointing the camera over to the left to keep the lake out of view. It's saving a little bit of lag.
If you had to choose between a ladder climb and a ladder dance, would you choose the former or the latter?
In real life?
Yeah.
I'd almost certainly prefer to do a ladder dance in real life.
Does sound more fun. That's intentionally taking a little bit of damage, jumping down from the tower. Is going to be going for Death Sword skip in Arbiter's Grounds. And the fastest way to leave the room after getting the spinner will be to Death Warp. Hopefully, he's also going to take some damage from the Moldorms on the way to Arbiters. I released a brand new tutorial on how to take damage just yesterday.
If Orchrist now going for Louise glitch. We'll see if he gets it as well.
Oh, going for digging
doing
Louise
it.
glitch?
Huh.
I haven't seen that one before.
I suppose if you can dig at the right spot to just do a B attack, then I guess that's good. Probably still saves time. Ynohtz
quite take.
not quite taking that second hit.
Yeah, so I think Ynohtz is going to get hit by Death Sword.
Perhaps going to do the old Pogate skip with the bubbles and get hit by one of those.
Wait, was it the second one that missed, not the first?
The second one did miss, yeah.
Wow. It's very rare for the Moldorm to miss when you're not dashing.
Orchrist also not opting for rope skip. And that was a fast clip for Ynohtz. Orchrist just getting the only Poe in the game. There will be no more Poes collected for either of the runners.
Shoutouts to Chaotic Ace, who did, I think, the only 2 Poe run of Twilight Princess.
I'm guessing that was Poe 4.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he gave up on Pogate Skip, went and got Poe 4, and then tried Pogate Skip again and got it. This was back in the Bubbles Pogate Skip days.
What Ynohtz definitely will not be doing to take damage is getting hit by King Bulblin, which would be a game over with the current health. And if you game over to King Bulblin, it is a soft lock because of having map glitch disabling the loading zones. I like seeing the different ways that runners avoid the Bulblin Archer in Minuses per hour. Orchrist just dashing straight to avoid that shot.
He could have tried digging. Might have worked.
Could have. Ynohtz now in Arbiter's Grounds, which I find to be one of the last points in which I expect the possibility of losing a giant amount of time. Most of the run after Arbiter's Grounds is pretty consistent.
I think Arbiters is much easier now with displacement eclipse. Like the Pogate clip itself is a beginner trick. It's easy now.
It's an easy trick. Ynohtz wisely facing the chest again before rolling away to avoid picking up one of those skulls.
Oh yeah, have you not seen that one yet?
It makes sense now that I had seen it, but it had just not crossed my mind before to pay attention to that.
Yeah, Ace came up with that like a couple of months ago now, a few months ago. Brand new, leaving the chest strat. I think he timed it to save a little under under half a second. But yeah, collecting the 3 pose was definitely not as easy as doing Pogate clip. And then Stallard skip, it's certainly not a beginner trick, like Pogate clip is, but it's definitely easier now than it was before displacement eclipse.
And a little bit less risky as well.
Yeah, less punishing.
That, as well as the human movement, is pretty much optional now. It does save a tiny bit of time. That's after the Pogate going to Death Sword. And Death Sword skip also. Well, definitely being faster, being more acceptable to just not do.
Very quick. Good Pogate clip from Ynohtz. Crossing the sand pit is human. It's just a little bit faster than transforming Wolf first. Got the quick climb as well. Oh, so Orchestra's warping at 141. Okay, so the difference is just a little bit over 8 minutes. It's like 8:20 or so.
8:20, yeah. Looks like Ynohtz is opting to do that human movement in this room.
Which is cooler.
Oh, it certainly is. It's also significantly more difficult, in my opinion.
It is that. Yes.
That definitely run that risk of that bonk there.
Yeah. I think that
still should be pretty close. I think it's just slightly slower if you do get that bonk.
Slower than Wolf movement, yeah. Yeah, because human movement only saves like 2 seconds, I think, on this route.
And not getting that right side, so needing to turn into a wolf anyway.
So now I can do a step clip to skip these Stalfos. Arbiters truly is a pacifist dungeon now.
It really is.
Death Sword gets hit once by the claw shot, and that's about it.
I honestly think that step clip might be my favorite new trick found in Arbiter's Grounds.
Mm. And it was funny, that was found very soon after... Oh yeah, Ynohtz intentionally taking damage. I found the Stalfo skip with third-person clawshot clipping for Wii and HD like a week or 2 before that. So for a very small amount of time, GameCube was the only version that couldn't skip those Stalfos in an any % context. Having to do a little backup because Death Sword gave him bad RNG. But the skip is definitely still possible from here. Just got to release the charge at the right time. Very nicely done.
Getting it. So getting the skip, and then Ynohtz will be placing a bomb and death warping out of this room. That saves around 20 seconds over doing the fight normally.
And Orchrist, I believe, does not go for Death Sword skip, so I don't think we'll see him damage down. Well, damaging
Maybe
down
not intentionally.
Unintentionally, yeah. One of my most common mistakes is on that do you want to continue screen after the game over, mashing B instead of A. Because I guess I'm just thinking that it's a post-boss do you want to save prompt. I don't know.
Yeah,
And for some reason, it's
Death
only
are
that one, not the one-
relatively recent in Twilight Princess, any percent.
Yeah.
So. Looks like a good epic spinner room so far. Hopefully we'll be able to get this quick cycle.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, actually tried to jump off just before the corner, so he's gonna have to go for a little backup. Okay. I don't know this part of the cycle, but it looks good.
That works. There is an earlier
Help
point
for
that I
Ralph to
would
skip
have
a single side hop. Sorry, what?
There was just an earlier point of the cycle that I knew would have worked, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's definitely good to know that backup.
Unfortunately, side hopping straight off the thingy. I haven't seen that with a stab before. Oh, yep, it seems to work.
Looks pretty fast.
Ooh. And not dying to King Bulma. That's the main thing. Look at him go. Ynohtz ideally will be out of this room in like 40 seconds or less. I was gonna do Stallard skip, and he's hesitating a little bit at the beginning of the fight just to lure Stallard into attacking facing that direction, which just gives him a little bit more time before he attacks in this direction. So just gonna do a quick setup for clawshot actor displacement, which is how he's going to pull a stall troop over to this gate. Whereas normally Link would be pulled to the stall troop. We'll go in reverse if he does it right. Need to get just the right angle here.
Both horizontally and vertically.
Yeah. Might have been able to go for that, but it would have been a little tight on the spinner cycle. So very good CAD. And now, on the old method of Stallard skip, there would be a bomb boost at the end. If you failed the bomb boost, it would kill the stall troop. You'd have to start the whole thing over. But with this method, there's no bomb boost. And if you fail it, then you can just retry unless you've accidentally slashed him. Which Ynohtz has not. So Ynohtz can just go for the trick. Very nicely done.
Getting through. Very nice to see. And using a bomb here to defeat defeat one shadow beast to slightly speed up this portal fight. Stallard skip used to use a bomb, and the Stalfos that we used a step clip to get through also used to use 2 bombs. So the recent developments have freed up 3 more bomb uses, and that's one of the things that has replaced it is the bomb in that fight. Orchestra will now be going for that Pogate clip. Probably we'll see pretty much just as fast.
At the same time, Ynohtz is going for early City in the Sky. Is going to just clip past this owl statue by transforming and save over an hour.
The largest sequence break in the game. And as mentioned before, we do need map glitch to do this successfully. Not map glitch, map warping to do this successfully, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to warp the cannon without a lot of mashing.
Good clip from Orcrust. And he makes it through.
Opting to do a roll instead of a backflip. There are several ways to consistently clip through the gate once you are in, but if you walk at all before doing a roll or some other movement, before turning around entirely, then you run the risk of clipping back in.
We're seeing the wolf movement through this room from Orcrust. We'll also see on Ynotts' screen in just a minute that he won't be able to pay fire to fix the cannon. What's he going to do?
Oh, he's going to try.
Yeah, lowballing him with 27 rupees. Not a great idea. Maybe he'll still do it. He's feeling generous. And he is. It's a French exclusive glitch. Get the sky cannon fixed without paying.
Now probably be seeing Orcrust fight Death Sword. Doing a spin attack at the far end of the room to lure him down early. And just doing repeated 3 stabs.
Just gonna poke Death Sword to death. Sword.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if someone poked me that many times in the head, I would also dematerialize into a bunch of bats.
With a sword, at least. With a finger, you think?
Maybe. Depends how I'm feeling that day.
Do you think if they poked you repeatedly with a bat, you'd turn into a swarm of fingers?
Possibly.
So Orcrust does need to leave the room through the door. If he were to death warp here, in theory it would be faster, just since this door animation and load are kind of long. But it wouldn't actually bring him outside, it would respawn him inside.
It's also possible to do a save warp, but that would put you back at the start of the dungeon, and Orcrust would have to do that Pogate clip again, which is just a little bit slower.
Yeah, it's so close that it's actually faster to do that for a TAS. The 80% TAS is going to do that. Oh, barely didn't make that corner-to-corner jump. So
Which will mess up the cycle. Hopefully, Orcrust knows those backups.
Spinner action on both screens. Oh yeah, Ynohtz is currently heading for the one small key in City in the Sky, which is now skippable. It's been skipped RTA by a human with only what we have in any percent. Not quickly enough to save time. Yet. Maybe someday.
No, but significant for low percent if some madman wants to learn that.
I suspect at least one will.
Likely. We did see...
Waiting in the sand.
Yeah. We did
Why not
see
taking a page from your playbook and going for a brick slide at the end of that room?
There just isn't room for another roll. It makes sense. Ynohtz completed Arbiter's Grounds at 1:47:45. The ideal end of the game past Arbiter's Grounds, I think these days, is about 57 minutes.
Yeah, a little under, yeah.
So, yeah, it might be still possible to get a sub 2:45.
Yeah, it's a little under 57 for English. For French, it should be around 57, since you have to talk to Fire twice.
That's true. I don't know if Orcrist goes for Stallard Skip.
I think he does now.
Looking
his
at the golds, it looks like yes.
So wasting a little time at the beginning just to make Stallard turn, take more cycles to turn around. Oh, he's doing this setup.
Yeah, slightly different setup.
This is to avoid having to abridge a slash.
Which Ynohtz was struggling with that abridged slash in,
yeah, it's true.
in the normal setup, so this might be slightly faster.
Good CAD for Orcrist. Good bonk for Ynohtz. Ynohtz is now heading over to do a big displacement clip in City. Big in the sense that it saves a good chunk of time. This one saves, I think, a little over 70 seconds. First, unfortunately, missing frame perfect. Spin release. Good clip for Ynohtz. And he's going to go for one more clip in the next room as well, which saves a lot less time, but skips having to pull the switch to get down to her alphos.
And Orcrist now through that gate.
Hold on. Yeah, the difference has
about
increased a little bit.
Yeah, about 9 minutes. A little over 9 minutes now. The biggest skip with displacement clips is Pogate skip. Being able to skip the entire first half of Arbiter's Grounds.
Yeah, I guess you could argue, compared to the previous Pogate skip, the new Pogate skip saves, I think, about as much time as City Gate clip does. Same order of magnitude, at least. But yeah, compared to actually getting the pose, it saves way more. I guess if you're just comparing to what you're intended to do, then dot skip is a big one. Well, actually, no, dot skip really is the answer. And not for any percent, obviously, but the first version of dot skip was still a displacement clip, just a non-standard one.
It saves the entire Statue Escort and Temple of Time, which I think is only around 4 minutes. So,
oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess Pogate skip is more important than that.
Though perhaps the real answer is the Nehru Gate clip, if that is a displacement clip.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how much time that one saves, though.
No. Complicated. To time, anyway. So Ynohtz is going to go for another clip here to get up to the boss key without going outside. Typical gamer maneuver.
It looks like a good setup.
Yep, I think it was a good setup.
Excellent. And Orcrist now has warped the cannon, and I think we'll need to get a Red Rupee on the way to talking to Fire, but I will not have to walk back after talking to Fire the first time, we'll have enough rupees to just fix the cannon the first go-round. Ynohtz getting to the fan tower right around the 2-hour mark, which is, it's just crazy to me that that's the 2-hour mark in modern runs.
Pretty quick. Ynohtz exploring alternative fan tower routes. There is actually, well, there are 2 alternative fan tower routes, even without using bomb arrows, that are both faster than this route, but also both quite difficult. One of them is doable, the other is, I believe, considered to be TAS only. Though honestly, I've never tried it myself. So.
Considering how precise the claw shots on that one are, I would expect it to be pretty much TAS only.
I would as well. It was a struggle to TAS it.
I suppose maybe it would be doable if you want to buffer your claw shots.
That would be tough.
And not worth it.
No. I mean, you can't pause or pull the item wheel while the claw shot is out unless you're targeting, which gets rid of your aiming. But can you open the home menu on Wii while the claw shot is out? Maybe you could buffer it that way.
I couldn't say for sure. You definitely would be able to pull the batteries out of the Wii remote and
Yeah. Or disconnect the nunchuck.
disconnect the nunchuck, yeah.
It's the way of the future. I mean, that strat is significantly easier on Wii, even without any of these ridiculous things, just because you can aim so much faster.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it does if you're aiming up on the ground. I don't know if it's any different when you're hanging on a fan, and if it changes anything horizontally. Or just double checking that he didn't turn the big fan on.
Yeah, I transformed slightly too far away from the door and needed to inch forward, but the hitbox for the wolf is on his back legs, and so when the trigger is right up against the door, it's pretty easy to avoid turning that fan on.
Understandable that he'd be worried about it, though. Orcrist is often thinking of OnlyFans. Now we may see some of the faster Ugrok strats coming up on Ynotts' side. Ideally, he'll be doing flame cancels to get through each cycle very quickly. And ideally, they'll be on the second P-hat rather than the first. Looks like no, he's going for a first P-hat flame cancel this time.
Yeah, maybe on the second cycle.
And then ideally, could go for an early roar, which is claw-shotting up so fast that Ugrok roars while Link is still on his way up. But that's it's hard to do what you need to do afterwards to go fast. Oh, was that normal? No, it wasn't. Just going for normal old first P-hat flame cancel. cancels, but didn't get that
still
one.
took a... Oh, yeah. Dropped a little bit too far down there.
Yeah,
So Argok now turning. And this is probably the wiser choice of dropping down here so that you can do what you're used to. And
went for a second V flame cancel this time. I think that's going to work, but he's still going to have to go an extra one, so it's not going to save any time. Yeah. Kind of an awkward phase there, but the third phase should be less awkward. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if I've played around with that. It might be worth going for that.
now it's turned to face Argorok, so the camera didn't change for that.
Chris now going for the City Gate clip. Same as Ynohtz did. I feel like this is a little far left, at least for how I line up, but maybe it still works. Oh, yeah, it looks okay. Oh, never mind. I'll be curious to see which lineups and visual cues stand the test of time for all this new stuff that has come out in the past couple of years. Because, you know, a lot of tricks in this game were found many, many years ago. Like, some of the biggest ones were found soon after the game's release. A lot of tricks that we still use were found, you know, a decade ago or at least 5 years ago. And when I was first starting, there were definitely some tricks with multiple visual cues that people used, but for the most part, people would just use, you know, one or maybe two. But for something like City Gate Clip, there are, I know of at least 3 or 4 different visual cues that people use for various parts of it. I wonder if in 5 years or so, it'll be down to just a couple, or people will still use a bunch. Who knows?
Pretty sure that the visual cue that I currently use, which was one of the earliest, is definitely not going to be in fashion for very long.
Which one is that?
I'm doing a side hop from the left side of the door.
Oh, that one, yeah. That one, I believe, is entirely out of fashion, aside from you. You're keeping it alive. Speaking of keeping it alive, Ynohtz just got an enormous light sword gold, I think by accidentally splitting, and is now on 234 pace. That's right, pace. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, a decade ago now, that would be 2016, and even City Early Boss Key was found by then. There were still a few tricks that we've found since then, but
yeah, really the biggest developments since then have been in the past couple of years.
yeah, there was a bit of activity in 2018 with big skips. Not really for any percent, though.
Oh yeah, that's specifically for any percent, and some other stuff for other categories. Really, there has been a lot of stuff over the years, just not huge things. We don't have a, you know, displacement clips discovery every year.
It's taking a little bit longer in that setup, but I think that should still work.
Nice. Ynohtz forgot which room he was in and side hopped up the chest just to claw shot the wall. I have done that one before.
Yep. Just use the first of 7 small keys in Palace of Twilight.
Be seeing all of them. And the boss key. And some keys. It depends on the runner.
I think
Go ahead.
I think the section we see the most variance in Wolfdash races, at least, is about 15 minutes to 35 minutes into the run, from Sword and Shield Skip to Gorge Void. But yeah, it definitely depends on the runner and what tricks that they've practiced more than others.
Yeah, like there are no big skips in Palace, but it's still very common for new runners to lose several minutes to top runners in Palace just by not knowing every little detail.
Based on the evidence of my run yesterday, you do not have to be a new runner to lose several minutes in Palace.
Perhaps the same applies to rusty runners. All right, fine. New, rusty, and Cass runners. Notable runners. There we go.
And it's now having defeated the first of 2 mini-bosses in Palace of Twilight. I was going to say this is the only dungeon with 2 mini-bosses, but I guess you sort of have 2 in Hyrule Castle with the Dark Nut and the Aralphos.
I guess, yeah.
But
I think at this point, the Friends cutscene is more of a mini-boss than the Aralphos.
fair point. Zelda's kind of a mini-boss.
Yeah.
Orcrist went for a pretty early claw shot there on Dargark's tail. Fortunately, wasn't too early. Did not soft luck. The more obvious mini-boss in Hyrule Castle is King Bulblin 4.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I never really thought of those as mini-bosses. There's no dungeon item. Yeah, it's pretty well-known softlock here. Check that one out. All you have to do is claw shot onto the tail on the first or maybe second possible frame. I remember X saying that he had 2 frames to do it when he was tassing.
Which we have seen cool game in Wolfdash before. I think even intentionally.
I'm not surprised. Playing it safe here in Stupid Room. Oh, can you? Oh, no. Unfortunate. I've never thought about that before. Can you stun the Xanhead with a claw shot so it doesn't warp away before you get there?
I don't think you can.
I didn't think that worked. I thought it would just clank, but...
I think the only things that the Xanheads are vulnerable to are the sword, the wolf attacks, and their own attacks deflected by the shield.
Making it across on the second try. Interesting sword pull. Didn't see that coming.
The doors in City in the Sky and Palace, of course, being the only ones in the game where you keep your sword out after opening the door. Doing that to use a slash against the first two shadow beasts in there, which is certainly a way to do it. Most of the time you use the boomerang, but I think that slash is just as good or even better.
Yeah, it looked pretty fast. Ooh, well, it's just barely making it to that claw shot target in time. And Orcrist having his hat burned off. But finishing the Argrok fight. And Ynohtz going for an interesting version of a Spidey shot.
Becomes significantly more common to use the claw shot there than
Yeah,
used
it
to.
has. One of those strat variations that's really caught on in the past few years.
There's also an option to do an LGA, or you can even just jump down and use the claw shot from the floor.
Aren't you guaranteed to transform even if you land on the thingy?
I think if you do a jump slash, you can avoid it.
Oh, okay.
Why not missing the spin attack on that second hit, so gonna end up being a 4-cycle. I think just with one spin attack here does it. Yeah. Orcrist is now finished up Palace of Twilight. Not Palace of Twilight. Not yet.
Wow,
City in the Sky.
GG.
And we'll be going to Palace of Twilight.
What a comeback.
Well, some birthdays are easier to remember than others. For example, Hugo's birthday is any time you do a Twilight Princess speedrun.
I hope someday we find a use for soul sliding. That'd be neat. It's a neat trick you can do, claw-shotting a soul in a certain position relative to a socket that makes Link slide around getting pushed by the soul every frame. You can go at really fast speeds, and it's completely useless. There's nothing useful that you could possibly do with it.
You can get really close to getting past the invisible wall that stops us from going to the third part of this dungeon, but
Yeah.
it's just barely out of the reach.
And then even then, you can't open that door with a soul in your hand. Nor can you get past that room without light sword, but it would still be interesting. So yeah, why not? It's getting the light sword while Orcrist completes the first room. This dungeon does take a while, like 21 minutes or so, 90%.
And while it is pretty straightforward, you do need all 7 small keys in this dungeon. Plenty of places where you can lose a little bit of time.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see some form of early light sword someday, whether it's skipping both souls or just one. Much as I like Palace, would be something interesting.
We could find a way to just dupe the souls. That would be fantastic. Lightsword Trigger requires both souls.
Ooh,
The boomerang not quite going out of bounds for Ynohtz. At least I'm pretty sure you need both.
oh, I think he just pressed target that time.
That did look like it.
Well, so there's that old Dragonbane video he made after researching it, where you can get one soul, put it in the socket, and then if you reload the room a certain way that you can't do normally, then you get a soul back, and it appears that no souls are in sockets, but one of them actually still is. So in that sense, in theory, you could do it with one. But there's just no way to reload the room like that. At
I
least
think if
no
we
way.
had a way to reload the room like that, we would have a credits warp at Orden Village. So
Yeah, very
maybe
possibly.
it's for the best.
And why not? After failing that first LJA twice, not going for this second one, which costs even more time to fail.
And doesn't
Understandable.
save as much time as the first one.
Oh, really? I thought they would save about the same.
They are close. I think it is slightly less for that one, though.
See whether Ynohtz goes for the outdoor LJA, which saves a similar amount of time to the other two, but costs a lot of time if you fail it. Costs nearly a minute. Looks like he's going for it. All right, well done.
That is an LJA that's been known for a long time, but it has historically not been done because there's some weird geometry over there that makes it so you can quite easily fail out without knowing why. Good to see it working, though.
Ooh,
Going
nice
fast
job.
enough to get the cycle there.
Wow.
seven enemies in that spin attack, I think.
I couldn't tell if his internet was buffering at the same time.
Each individual hit will produce
Yeah.
about 5 frames of hit stun, so with
Or
7
post-
enemies, that's about a second of hit stun.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, Orcus playing it a little safe on the light platforms, so he doesn't fall like Ynohtz did. Ooh, Ynohtz going for this LJ. Taking cues from Nimzo for this room.
And opting not to try to get the heart on the floor there. Oh, it should be able to get some hearts in the next room. And
Yeah, it's
even if
skipping
not,
the
it's
bottom.
pretty easy not to lose much health to Zant.
Oh yeah, right. Making the Zen hit spawn a little bit earlier just by hanging off the ledge. I hadn't thought about that here. I thought about that for the outdoor area. But So with all of those optimizations, he killed that Zanhead so early that this Zanhead that just fired at him will have nice respawned by the time he gets there. Doesn't have to wait on it at all.
Very nice early platform room.
Yeah.
At least Ynohtz will be hoping to get hearts in the next room. We do need to take a little bit of damage to Zant. I think it's only half a heart, but
Yeah.
entering that fight on 3/4 of a heart is a little scary.
There's many opportunities to get hearts here, and even a fairy.
There's a heart.
In the second round of the Morpheal phase, Zant always spawns in the head that's farthest away from Link at a certain time when the heads are rising. Ynohtz entering Zant as Orcrist finishes up the second Phantom Zant? Or,
I believe
yeah,
this is
yeah,
the
it
second.
is.
Yeah. And Ynohtz, the text here for Zant is just a little bit longer on French than other versions. So I think that's the last significant French time loss.
Yeah, I think so.
The
So
French
pretty much-
version. Sorry,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
On three. 1, 2, 3.
The
French
French version does have
on hitting
the
Xan
fastest
part of a sword
text
combo.
for pose.
Just needs to
So
finish
it's
each phase like that, and that instantly does.
unfortunate that we only get one po in the run.
Nice one cycle on the Dangoro phase.
Exactly, John. Anyway, as noted, this first cycle on the Morpheal phase, the Zant will spawn in the only Zant head. In the second one, Ynohtz will be doing some specific movement to get Zant to spawn at a specific head and then get to that head by the time we need to flush up.
First attacking that guy for no reason. What an asshole. Orcus tied his gold on that light sword segment. It's nice.
Yeah, Palace being a little bit cleaner for Orcrist overall than it was for Ynohtz. Though this Zant fight's going really well.
Yeah.
It would take something major to upset the race at this point.
Yeah, there's pretty much nothing that could cause that. I mean, I guess if Ynohtz reset before saving after King Bulblin by accident, that would cost like half an hour.
That would do it. Zelda Crash would make it close. I don't think. it
Yeah,
would
even
quite-
that wouldn't quite cover it.
Orchrist getting that LJA first try.
Nope, there's no cap. Ooh, but Orchrist missing the second LJ, unfortunately.
Yeah, LJAs work when the boomerang is either above ground that is above Link or out of bounds. For both of the LJAs in that room, we use out of bounds. But when trying to LJ to that door, the door itself extends a little further behind, and so if the boomerang's behind the door, it doesn't work. Or Ynohtz could talk to the postman for 8 minutes.
But he's been skipping the postman for 2.5 hours already. Surely wants to keep up his streak.
And yeah, kept skipping the postman.
Ynohtz coming up on a long, unskippable, but kind of theoretically skippable cutscene. You will see this cutscene skipped in the next any % task, whenever that's done. Just skipping it requires a lot of frame-perfect inputs, a lot of mashing over a prolonged period of time. And even done perfectly only saves like 40 seconds. An RTA viable way of doing it, like physically viable way of doing it, would be too slow to even save time.
Though with the Friends cutscene now being skippable, there are only a few cutscenes that are still completely unskippable in the game. I don't foresee a way to ever skip the Master Sword cutscene.
Yeah.
The cutscene
More feeling
in
Arkarok
fight.
Yeah. Well, if I remember correctly, I checked using item wheel delay to skip the Morpheal cutscene at one point, and you had to wait a pretty long way into the cutscene for the save warp to actually keep Morpheal dead. So it's not even like it would be possible for a task, I think, but it would just not save time. But it would be interesting if that ever came about. It is possible to skip part of the post-Blizzetta cutscene with Moon Jump, but unfortunately not without Moon Jump. Well, you can kind of do the same thing with item wheel delay, but it still takes a long time for the save warp to count as Blizzetta being dead. Looks like Ynohtz is the barrier skip. Using Sam just set up. Or was it DF setup? I can't remember. Oh, not quite. Is he out of bombs? I didn't notice.
I don't think he would be.
Maybe he only has one and wants to use it later. There we go. Nope, he's got 2. Just felt like doing the barrier skip. The barrier skip is theoretically faster than using a bomb. It's just hard to actually go faster. And it can fail, whereas using a bomb almost never fails.
Yeah, it saves only around half a second, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I remember that timing as well, but I can't remember which setup that timing used.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of significant.
And yeah, having boots on the item wheel, or having boots equipped for this cutscene, is helpful because we need to ideally either do a backflip or pull those iron boots to be able to save warp and skip some text.
Yeah,
If
I'm
you
already
don't
aware
have the boots on the item wheel at this point in the run, something has gone wrong.
That's possible, isn't it? Can't you just use magic armor?
Yeah, you can. That's true. In an
Why
80%
not
run, though.
backflipping anyway? Ynohtz passing 2 of the 4 claw-shottable torches in the game. And skipping another barrier, this time
Not
just
even
by...
claw-shotting.
Yeah. Whoa. Guess I can see up.
Orcrist getting that Dingoru 1 cycle as well.
Very nice. They can. They might be watching. No, Orcrist has typed in chat earlier in the run.
Yeah, there's not much of a risk of spoilers for speedrun races, so... Let's see which lantern puzzle variant Ynohtz will go for.
The
Looks
fast
like
one.
the
Oh no, the second fastest
second
one.
fastest. Looks like
Nice
Orcrist should be
combo.
getting a 2-hop Zant here.
Oh, you know, Ynohtz did have 2 bombs and now has 1 to spare. It's possible that Ynohtz is going for friendless.
It's possible. We'll see.
So I think if you were, it would have been better to go do that first, because the bomb and boomerang were already equipped.
I wonder if you can damage horseback cannon by throwing bombs at him.
I think I've tried that, and the answer is no.
What a shame.
In fact, I've almost certainly tried that because I was looking for things for low B.
Actually, that makes sense, because the only reason that works for King Bulblin 2 is because bomb arrows work, and it wouldn't make sense for bomb arrows to work for horseback Ganon.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this cutscene that Ynohtz is watching is skippable. It has been skipped RTA even in a Wolfdash race, but it's pretty risky to go for. It risks losing a lot of time, and it's tough to do as well. So pretty much no one is going for it yet, in any percent at least. Well, really, no one's gone for it in Hundo either, but no one's running Hundo at the moment.
And that was
But
a
it's awesome.
pretty clean Xan fight for Orcrist.
Yeah, unfortunately, lost some time in early platform room, but the Xan fight was pretty clean.
And a double soul room as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just one room left for Ynohtz in the dungeon itself, and then we'll have the final fight. As mentioned in chat, Ynohtz could have enough Zelda cycles to equalize the match. It is highly unlikely that that'll happen. Orcrist has 6 bombs here. And
He's gonna
not
give them to
pulling
the
the
postman.
sword. So
Going to mail his bombs. Maybe to you. Gotta be careful opening that mail.
Orcrist was rolling pretty far up on that road. I wonder if anyone's ever accidentally talked to Charlo on the way to Castletown.
I think it's kind of difficult because you can't talk to him until the area
the
banner's
banner's
gone. Yeah.
I guess we won't be giving any rupees for peace in Hyrule today.
Actually, you know what? I say that, but I'm not sure if that's true. I can't remember. Maybe you can talk to him before the banner's gone. You might have to target.
That was a swoop for the first cycle for Ynohtz, so it'll be at least an 8 cycle. With the optimal being 7 and the worst recorded being 17 cycles.
Easy mistake to make.
Picking ball on 4, still looking good for an 8 cycle. 70% chance of an 8 cycle at this point.
Oh, do you know the odds of each attack?
Just any time that Zelda can do a ball, it's a 70% chance that she will, and 15% chance each for the other 2.
Oh, I see. That's a 170% chance. $15.
I did say 15. Yeah, 8 cycle, 1 triangle for Ynohtz. Not too bad overall.
So ideally he'll get out of the way of Beast Ganon and knock him down with the ball and chain very quickly. Nice. You can attack through Beast Ganon's back if you go to the right spot. Just save him from rolling all the way around the tail.
And a good throw of the ball chain there as well.
I think the way he lands is just RNG.
And doing those specific combos that Ynohtz did, it'll be just one portal and one B attack needed for this final phase.
My goodness, Ynohtz didn't get attacked by bees. First, hanging out with King Bulblin.
Pretty good horseback. Just have the quickest boss fight in the game left.
I think he unfortunately just barely... well, no, he might be able to squeeze out the 248 flat. Based on his timer, it looks like yes. On the the stream timer, no. I don't know which is accurate. Alright, well, on Ynotz's timer, that was a 247.59. GG to Ynohtz.
GG to Ynohtz. And 248 flat on the race time. Which,
If you want to join the VC, the waiting room VC in the ZSR server for the interview, feel free.
which their fastest race in Wolfdash so far was a 2:47.41, so only about 20 seconds off there. Good consistency.
Yep. Let's see, this is... Where is this in the bracket? Okay, so it looks like Ynohtz will be facing ZachLink99 in the next round as a result.
That could be a pretty fun race. Both runners are really good.
Yeah, Zach is definitely the more experienced runner, has had a really good time for a long time, though hasn't been active for a little while, so I'm not really sure how he's playing these days. Probably still getting used to some of the new stuff. Whereas Ynohtz has not been playing for too long, but has been very active recently through the most recent developments. Yeah, it should be a good race.
It looks like we won't be getting Ynohtz in here, but GG's again, and very nice run overall. Only a few big mistakes.
Yeah.
And even those big mistakes weren't more than a minute, so... Not as big as my big mistakes tend to be.
You don't have to brag. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That ties for the 14th best run of this Wolfdash so far. Or 14th fastest, anyway. Assuming it is a 248 flat. And that's out of, well, how many runs is this? Well over 100. It's like 130... Oh, wait, I can do this. Out of 141.
And plenty more to come.
Indeed. In fact, speaking of more to come, there is another race going on later today, as well as, looks like 4 races tomorrow. One on, was that Sunday? Yeah. No, Saturday. Today's Thursday. One on Sunday and 2 on Monday. The next ones to be restreamed, it looks like, are one tomorrow between Glubbers and Sparkle, one on Saturday between Midnolin and Prince, and on Monday between me and G's. Are likely to be restreamed, I think. There's people signed up for commentary anyway.
Yeah, but as usual, huge thanks to ZSR for hosting, or allowing us to host Wolfdash here.
Indeed.
We always appreciate the restreamers and the work they do. There is a redemption bracket race coming up at 11 my time, in 37 minutes, which looks like it probably won't be restreamed.
I really haven't spent much time looking at the brackets. Looks like they're all coming along at a pretty even pace. So we're in semi-finals now for... Oh, I guess for losers bracket. Yeah, we're in semi-finals both for main bracket and redemption bracket. Oh, or rather, the other race happening today will get redemption bracket to semifinals across the board. Right? No, it's still missing Zion and Miwix, isn't it? Never mind. Forget it. Ignore everything I said.
It looked like a swoop for the first cycle for Orcust as well, so going to be at least 8 here.
Yeah, it's early in the day on Saturday for me. Time zones. Orcust cleverly making a pot fort, but unfortunately, it's destroyed in an instant by Zelda. Disrespectful.
I hope that Orcust has done the second hit, I didn't see
Yeah.
for sure.
I
Okay.
did see. Yeah, I had a moment like that the other day. I forgot whether I had done the second hit, and I was thinking this could be the worst Zelda I've ever had.
I think that was 8, and now we're on 9 cycles.
I could believe that. Yeah, it looks like he's losing 46 seconds to his gold. It would be tough for that to happen with an 8 cycle, but it is possible.
Orchrist opting to just throw the ball and chain and tank the hit, which is definitely consistent.
Yes.
If just a little bit slower. Tanking
Taking
another
another
hit
hit,
there.
just
I
fun.
don't think that was intentional, though. I see the Twilight in the credits for Ynohtz. Something about seeing that always feels satisfying to me.
I'd rather see the fairies in the springs.
Oh, fair enough.
I wonder if you can do both. Will the fairies show up in the springs if you haven't cleared the Twilight?
I don't know. But I don't think we have a shot of Fair and Spring, which would be the only one that applied to.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, even outside the credits, I don't know whether they'd show up. I would guess yes.
I think post Cave of Ordeals is a different state, so I don't know if it would overwrite the
Oh.
Twilight.
Interesting. I didn't know if that was a layer thing. So Chris just missed one shot, but now has just a cutscene and some auto spins left. And will very likely still nab the sub 3.
Yeah, it should be a pretty easy sub 3. Hope the thunderstorm generated by this fight isn't causing any wildfires.
Haven't noticed any yet.
So there
No.
isn't much vegetation in East Hyrule Field.
GG Orchrist.
57. 27.
Oh,
and
and
GG.
welcome to yeah, hello. GG.
Hi. Thank you. Beast, will you stream tomorrow?
I was wondering the same thing. I don't know, I
Hmm.
mean to ask in chat.
The question on everyone's mouth, brain.
Fingers.
Yep.
But yeah, unfortunate beginning for that run. I know it can be tough to continue in a race after having trouble with Sword and Shield skip. But were there any bits of the run that you were happy with overall?
I almost got rangless, but I don't know if I was at a 0 angle when I did my turnarounds or not. But that would have been a gold for Lord Skip. I did gold Claw Shot,
Yeah.
so that's fun. Yeah, I'm obviously disappointed with a 4th try Sword and Shield skip and crashing on the Karg. It's not something anyone wants to do, but I think ultimately it doesn't really matter because Ynohtz had a great run, and yeah, it just would have been a bit closer.
Yeah, it was good to see the 2 routes side by side too. That's fun.
Yep, I got nothing else.
Yeah.
You had a pretty decent end game. Not quite as many mistakes as
Falls
Ynohtz,
in
but,
Palace. Yeah.
you know, not.
Yeah, there were a
was-
couple of like I'm checked out type mistakes here and there, but you know that happens. It's all good.
Oh, are there any other races you're looking forward to seeing in Wolfdash?
Yeah, I have no clue who's coming up soon, honestly. Who's your next?
generally,
You're playing. Gosh, who are you playing, Beast?
I'm playing G's on Monday.
That's right. Jeez.
We got
And
Spicy and Cactus, Marco and Morpha, Pigeon and Dean, Glubbers and Sparkle, Cass and Cake, Midland, Prince, Zine Miwix, Claudink, and QWERTY.
does this mean that I'm out, or is there another bracket I fall into?
It does. That is the final
It
bracket.
does mean you're out. Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
You made it. You get the t-shirt.
Tournaments are stressful and they take a long time, so I'm happy to be done, actually.
Yeah, well, fortunately, this one hasn't taken, I think, quite as long as the others have. Just
No.
scheduling has been much, much tighter.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, good luck to everyone else who's left over. It was fun. And thanks again for TGD for organizing and pestering people.
Thanks for participating, and best of luck in the next Wolfdash.
Sure thing. If I'm still
2028.
alive.
Here's hoping.
Yep.
All right, well, I think that's it for today then. Again, thanks for the restream, Slacker. And yeah, successful Wolfdash.
Have dashed. Definitely want to give a thank you and try to give a follow if you can to Ynohtz and Orchrist for the show they put on today. And I also want to give a thank you to our commentators, Bewilderbeast and Anaraxis as well. We've got plenty coming up here on Zelda Speedruns. I think we are done just at least for this restream. But we do have races coming up soon from all sorts of tournaments, everybody getting tournaments in during the summer. But I'm going to send y'all over to Spoots, who's doing, as they say in their status, their first TP rando. So go have fun watching that and scare the heck out of them. But other than that, thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.